I'm a screaver, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree, and it's all my own work from my own memory. Hey there, trainers! Today we're talking about a Pokemon that has mastered the art of reinvention. Ditto, the gelatinous wildcard that refuses to commit to a single form. Pokédex number 0132, the Transform Pokemon. And quite literally, the closest thing the Pokemon world has to an identity crisis, manifested. If Charizard is all fire and pride and Metapod is peak emotional hibernation, then Ditto is straight up adaptation mode. Survival through sheer flexibility both physically and mentally, which, let's be real, kind of a mood. Ditto measures 1 foot tall and weighs in at 8.8 pounds, which feels odd considering that it can stretch, shrink, and alter its entire body at will. But here's the kicker. Its body is entirely malleable, meaning it doesn't actually have a fixed anatomy. Ditto's main ability is Transform, which lets it copy its opponent's appearance, moves, and stats down to the finest details. You'll find Ditto in practically any region, often blending into whatever habitat best suits its needs. Unlike most Pokemon, Ditto doesn't hunt, doesn't chase, and doesn't struggle. It just becomes. Here's some fun facts about Ditto. Ditto is one of the most exploitable Pokemon in terms of breeding mechanics. Why? Because it can pair with almost any Pokemon that produces eggs. Scientists call this genetic adaptability. Trainers call this Ditto daycare shenanigans. But here's the kicker. Ditto can breed with almost anyone except itself. And honestly, that feels uncomfortably relatable. Like, yeah, I can shapeshift for everyone else, but ask me to be emotionally available for myself? Error. 404. Self-love not found. Young or inexperienced Ditto sometimes mess up their transformation, creating imperfect copies. Think half-finished clones with mismatched features, weird colorations, or vacant expressions. Thankfully, Ditto's transformations aren't permanent. It can slither right back into its original gelatinous self whenever it wants to, which makes it the only Pokemon that could ghost you, catfish you, and then show up to the breakup looking suspiciously like your therapist. Now, look, I wanted to love Ditto, especially after seeing it in the original Pokemon anime with its trainer Duplica. It's quirky, it's mysterious, it's got that wonderfully unhinged smile that says, I know things I shouldn't. But here's the deal. Using Ditto in a battle is sometimes an absolute nightmare. I mean, you get one useful move and it's Transform. That's it. You turn into your opponent, which means you have their exact abilities. Weaknesses included. If they're bad, guess what? You're bad too. I mean, I once sent my Ditto out to an enemy Magikarp. My Ditto became a Magikarp. My Transform turned into Splash. I lost the battle. Never again. Now, moving on to Stoll's studies, here's where things get weird. According to Pokéanatomy, Ditto isn't a singular life form in the traditional sense. Instead, it's a colony of single-celled organisms that work together to form a larger functional creature. Kind of like Ghastly, who I've also done a video on in this channel. Ditto's body is held together by protein fibers that allow it to shift forms instantly, and it can only successfully transform by making physical contact with a target, analyzing skin cells to replicate their anatomy. Even wilder is that Stoll's study suggests that Ditto's intelligence isn't fixed. The bigger the Ditto, the more transformations it's retained, the smarter and more experience it has. Meaning, yeah, some Dittos are just biologically programmed to be better con artists than others. Also, according to Stoll, Ditto is actually predatory in nature. Wild Ditto don't just transform to blend in. They imitate a weaker Pokemon to lure and prey. Which means that Ditto is not just a shapeshifter, it's a bait shop with identity issues and a 5-step strategy. Waiting and watching. So next time you see Ditto, don't think of it as just a harmless little blob with a wonky smile. Think of what Ditto represents. The ability to adapt, to evolve, and to blend in when needed. It is survival through transformation, and honestly, that might be one of the most relatable Pokemon traits of all time. What do you think? Love Ditto? Fear Ditto? Are Ditto? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and consider supporting my work on Patreon for even more Pokemon lore and artistic deep dives. Until next time, stay clever and keep exploring.